gonna kick things off with some Spectrum Thanos this morning. No OTA today. Today's the off week. It's off week, OTA, patch, OTA, off week, OTA, patch, OTA, etc. Zach Doe, thanks for the third of a year. Welcome back. People keep saying they expect Annihilus to be a big bad. I really hope that's not the case. I think big bads suck. I hope we have less of them, not more of them. Alright, I draw a reality stone or we can see. Solid first game. Zenga, thanks for the third of year. It's also worth noting that they don't seem to necessarily follow big bads off of comic book lore so much as the big bads seem to be based more on the MCU than anything, because, like, Null isn't a big bad, for example. Spotlight Kesha is making so big bads matter less. To a degree. Remember, eventually we're gonna have cards downgraded consistently again, and then things being big bads. Like, currently, big bads feel largely indifferent compared to other cards just because, like, nothing's downgrading at the moment. But Dr. Dre says we're going to eventually have more card releases or more card downgrades consistently again, so. Everybody says got him. Got him! Oh, snap. Oh, snap. I guess they are gonna Killmonger and potentially win Death's Domain, isn't they? Hoping for an armor or a Cosmo here, but I guess I also have priorities, so kind of whatever.
Enough said, bub.
You've won the middle. We have. Yeah, we're probably dead here. They're gonna snap us back and we're gonna leave. Yeah, this deck is shit. If you want to cut a card and play your other shit pet card, feel free.
Destiny will arrive.
Don't worry your brains too much about optimizing my deck that's bad. Feel free to swap in whatever card sparks joy for you into this deck that is not good. Your take on Jean changed since the card release. I mean, what do you think my take was on Jean when she released? that you're asking me if it changed. Why play this deck if it isn't good? Because I get paid low 6 figures to play shit decks on stream so people could find them amusing and find things that aren't just the same 3 decks to play. Because it's my job. Oh, I forgot to check Howard, chat. Just legit forgot Howard was there. Story of poor Howard's life. Poor Howie. Yeah, plus occasionally you like queue up a deck and it ends up not being bad. One of the things that a lot of people that don't brew decks often don't understand is that people who work on building good decks fail most of the time. It isn't like people who innovate every time they put a list of cards together. Most of the time, you're going to put a list of things together, and what you're putting together is going to be terrible. But if you're not willing to play some terrible decks, you're never going to be able to actually find anything particularly interesting. Alright, I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to do this into this, which means I can put a bigger one here. And then do this into this. Yeah, sounds good. See who we're rug pulling here? Hey, Nightblade, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Is 21 enough? Probably. Survey says yes.
Victory.
To answer the comment about Jean that was asked, I'm pretty sure in my tier list I put her in... Was she flexible and fine? I think I put her in flexible and fine, which is a good rating, right? Like, one of the things you need to understand about my tier list is it's not just good cards at the top and bad cards at the bottom. Like Jean is essentially a tech card that also has small amount of synergy with things like Spectrum and Silver Surfer, right? So, like, the current metagame, Jean is a meaningful tech card because she's a meaningful tech card that's gooding to Galactus. EJFA, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Yeah, flexibility is a big deal in a game like Marvel Snap. Agree. And I think even if you go back to, like, my initial ranking on Jean, you'll hear me talk about how, because remember when Jean released, it was bounce season, right? So like my initial ranking on Jean was like, this card seems good, but it's also not going to be good into Kitty Pride being everywhere, right? It was like the TLDR. Necrosha's not good for us. We didn't clean that one out, I think. I think was more impressive, Thanos, Lockjaw, or Galactus? From the perspective of someone who likes to build off-meta decks, I think the current metagame is more hostile for people that want to brew off-meta decks. If that makes sense. At the same time, I would also like to point out that I think it's unfair to call the current metagame we're living in a Galactus metagame. And I say this as someone who despises Galactus with the pure soul of his being. The current metagame is not Galactus's fault. There is one singular Marvel Snap card that bears responsibility for our current metagame, and it's not Galactus. It's Wave. Wave is responsible for the current metagame. Wave has essentially been responsible for every shit metagame Marvel Snap has ever had since the game released. In my opinion. I'm gonna hit Claw here and be real sad, but I'll play Iron Lad this turn. Honestly, maybe the fact that Claw exists in my deck means I should have played Jean in the center. Zoe! Thanks for the almost year and a half. I appreciate the 16 months. Welcome back. Trip Rock Deck, thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate folks pushing us up towards our sub goal for the month. Help us stay ad-free moving into October. Wave is a candidate for a rework. I think with Mobius coming, Wave is probably fine. The thing that's problematic about Wave currently is that nothing ever beats her. So having the option to play a tech card that gets to beat her, I think will go a long way. Then the Galactus shit.
I am inevitable.
Oh wait, I can move the Hobgoblin. Huh. Is this one the game? Here's worlds where this one is a game. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay, says local man about to die to Galactus mid. I think they're gonna Alliance me in the middle and we're gonna crush them. How does this win? We win left and right. They Alliance us middle and we crush them. Each is a good pickup for the token shop. I don't have any pool 3. I don't have any pool 3 cards, no. I would not recommend picking up Legion. If you want a full tier list with my thoughts on Series 4 and 5 stuff, check out this here. I think Legion's a fine card, but my early advice for picking up cards in Marvel Snap, and this applies for your free Series 3 card every month, as well as potentially picking up Series 4 and 5 cards, is I think you should prioritize getting Marvel Snap cards that open up new archetypes, not picking up Marvel Snap cards that are just generically good and go into a lot of places. So like, for example, Zabu is an example of a card that's great to spend resources on, in my opinion. Because any deck that contains the card Zabu, you can't play without Zabu. Darkhawks, another good example. High Evolutionary, Thanos. You want to pick up cards that define the decks that they're played in, because picking up deck-defining cards gives you more decks to play, as opposed to just picking up generically good cards, which make decks that you already have a bit better, if that makes sense. Beansy, thank you for the 4 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanos is a deck-defining card. I think you can't play a Thanos deck without Thanos. So if you like the idea of Thanos, he's a great pickup. That's fine. I think it was a good discussion, Crumble Kid. Split Loki. I think I'm waiting on Justina's Loki to release before I really go hard on upgrading a Loki. I might put this variant to... Maybe we'll put this variant, the variant I'm going to play here, to a gold border for now. But I think before I, like, full split looking for chasing inks or whatever, I'm going to wait for the Justina variant. We'll throw this one to gold, because we need to split 4 times to work towards inked anyways, but... I just buy cards that spark joy. That's another excellent way to approach picking up cards. Buy things that you think are fun. But if you're looking for something that, like, is optimal and still pretty fun, I think prioritize picking up archetype-defining cards. That's a good one. I wish beginner intro content like that performed better on YouTube so I could justify making it on occasion, but all of the new player snap content just tanks in metrics at this point, because there just aren't that many new snap players. Most people watching snap content are established existing players.
Never shall be set right.
For advice for upgrading variants, I have 2. I like equally for Enchantress, and I'm not sure which one to invest in. I mean, that's a super subjective question, right? I did recently post a YouTube short for the first time ever, and last I checked, it had made 77 cents worth of revenue, which is pretty exciting. I'm on track for early retirement now. Cash it in. It's like 10 cents more than last time you talked about it. That is true. How much exposure? Well, that was the thing, Marty. I knew the YouTube shorts, like, are notoriously bad for, like, actual revenue, but, like, the exposure also wasn't good. Like, I think last I checked it hadn't even made double-digit new subscribers for the channel. I'm gonna go look now, because I'm curious. What do analytics look like? I doubt it's changed. Yeah, it only netted +6 subscribers for the channel. So, like, if it was, like, actually reaching new people and getting them to engage with my content, I would probably invest some money into our editor producing them despite them not making actual revenue, but it also didn't provide any exposure, so I think it's just a firm pass. We got Cosnode. That's rude. Jahari, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. 77 cents could be a lot once the inevitable economics as societal collapse happens. Ever the optimist. I think I'm doing this, and then I'm going Professor X into Blue Marvel, huh? I'm gonna snap him. The priority killing us here. MR Blue Marvel though too. I think the current metagame is very, very bad for player retention. And honestly, I think this current metagame hit at such an inopportune time because anecdotally, I had a number of people that were like, Jeff, I put Marvel Snap down the last time Galactus was popular, and I had picked it back up now because you said Loki was fun and Loki was interesting. And then they're just super off it again now, right? Like, they came back because I think Loki was one of the most fun cards to release into Snap in a long time. And then, like, Galactus popped back up again. And I don't know that you get those players back a third time. I don't know. That's all speculation, obviously, and anecdotes. Like, Second Dinner knows their back-end numbers better than I do. So I'm curious to see if that anecdote reflects reality, but I don't know. So, like, you gotta remember that game designers are human. And I don't think Second Dinner and the Marvel Snap designers want this prison-focused metagame like we have. And I think the fact that they redesigned Spider-Man from the ground up is indicative to me of the fact that they don't want prison decks to be everywhere. So, like, we're living in a truly unfortunate segment where, like, that's what's currently happening. But, like, I don't think they wanted this to be the case, if that makes sense. I don't know, to the people saying there's no way they didn't see this metagame coming, maybe, like, a lot of people keep, in my opinion, a lot of people keep incorrectly saying the current metagame is Alliath's fault, when I don't think that's remotely true. The current metagame is the result of Wave and other cards that have previously been good being better. Like, I've literally been saying for weeks, maybe months, I forget when they nerfed these cards, but like, since they reworked Galactus, I have been telling people Galactus is better than its play rate implies. I'm surprised it's not played more. And the only thing Alliath did was Alliath helped people overcome their psychological bias towards playing something that was nerfed. That's the only thing Alliath is responsible for, in my opinion. Like, that's fundamentally what the Alliath changed. Alliath made people realize, oh, I should be playing these cards, so these cards are still good. In my opinion, that's what happened. Hold on to Soulstone to tuck into Quantum Tunnel, I think. But it does look to be Red Slaying. Do Goblin plus X, right? That's kind of a cheeky line. I think I'm into it. Wait, how does this work? I think this works how I want it to. think Galactus needs a redesign. No. I think Galactus needs like -2 points of power. For a cube here. I am also firmly on the side of I would not want to see Wave get adjusted until we see how the game plays out post-Mobius. Order for Spectrum. I have to play into the Gene Path first, Jen. I think we're just dead. Oh my gosh! I forgot. I really need some kind of animation that lets me know Thanos is about to turn on. Would we have won if I played Thanos here? Would have been 20, 32. Would have tied? No, we'd have lost. Oh, I didn't have the energy to play Thanos. That's a good shout. Details. Details. I disliked when they made Sarah not work on the wave turn. I think making wave beat cost reduction was a necessary evil, but it also meant that there was no way to counterplay from it. I think there's a different world where they reworked Wave to not combo with things like She-Hulk and Death, but still let cards like Miles Morales and Stature, and maybe Sarah beat her. But the death and She-Hulk, and remember, we never had a world where High Evolutionary Abomination comboed with Wave either, right? They made that change because that card was coming. By the way, chat, we've had a few other excellent Marvel Snap content creators hanging out in chat this morning. I want to shout out Loopy Fist. They're not here super often. They're a great follow. They're someone that I watch in the evenings periodically. Tap that heart above the chat to make sure you know when they're live in the future. Oh, Molt was chatting earlier too. Another excellent one. I think this is just like Power Stone into Armor here. Just turn this off because I'm out of stones at this point. Hey, BDJ, thanks for the 10 months. Appreciate that. Good morning, good morning. Fast Brood. Negative Surfer, maybe? Sleepy Dog, thank you for the 20 months. Welcome back. My deck's got a lot of bangers for this Iron Lad. It's got a couple of misses. It's got a bunch of good hits, right? Okay, so we want to try and have priority going into next turn so I can catch them with Cosmo. Mission accomplished. know, Duck, I think most of Marvel Snap's metagames are kind of held together by band-aids and duct tape of tech cards beating things up. Like the TLDR. Loopy, thank you for the sub. That's very generous of you. You didn't need to do that. We're having a wonderful Thursday in Survivor this metagame, all right. Molt says, meta's this bad. Make a draft mode more appealing, giving players something to play outside of the game's strongest deck. So, it's interesting. I think more ways to play Marvel Snap in terms of a game mode would be interesting. However, I feel like Marvel Snap's focus on building a collection makes it so draft is something they kind of don't want to encourage, right? Like, I feel like the way the entirety of Marvel Snap's economy and gameplay is structured, they want players to feel invested in their collection. And a draft mode gives people a way to play that lets you not care about having a collection. So while I don't think it would be bad to offer a different gameplay mode, I think I would be surprised if they added a draft, because it would mean people could play without caring about their collections. I think it would be neat if Snap added a genuinely different gameplay mode where the games are like there's some kind of different deck building thing. Like one of to give an example, something that comes up a lot. Something that comes up a lot is people ask, Jeff, what about Conquest decks when I talk about ladder decks? Or Jeff, what about ladder decks when I talk about Conquest? And the truth is, when push comes to shove, Conquest and ladder aren't really meaningfully different metagames or cards that are or formats where decks are different right now. And I think having some kind of game mode where those are meaningful, where there's a meaningfully different constructed format would be good for the game. I think I'm gonna get rid of Bar Sinister. I think it's likely much better for their deck than it is for ours. Doesn't more game modes make balancing cards harder? Sure. Someone asked you, do other online games do draft? Yes, most draft formats like people are asking for is a staple inside of most other card games. Yeah, I think, and I think Conquest, like, a side deck or multi-deck would make it meaningfully different. I come from a Magic the Gathering background, so I think a side deck is something I would love. But they could even do something more casual, too. Like, imagine if there was just, like, a rotating queue where the cards that are legal is slightly different every week. Like, imagine every Tuesday, there's this queue that's, like, normal constructed, but, like, this week, Wave and Loki are banned. Or just, like, whatever the metagame menace is. Just something that, like, makes a format feel tangibly different than the default, if that makes sense. We can beat them here. It's a Shuri kitty. Yeah, some kind of deck building restriction like what Twitch Rivals did. Well, so one of the things to note too is that one, we're leaving here. I think I'm gonna be done with this deck. This deck seems pretty bad.
Escaped.
I think we should probably just play one of the good wave decks. Opponent's deck is like 0% into the good wave decks. That's why it has bad stats right now. I think we're just gonna play some good decks today to avoid frustration. King is reactive. By definition, your opponent got to play their big thing out. Well, wave is proactive. Sure, but like that's like Cosmo and Arbor are like that too, though, Duck. Again, I think if there's just counterplay to it, it's less of a big deal. I don't know that changing Soulstone meaningfully changes. I don't know that changing Soulstone back meaningfully changes the Thanos decks are being mediocre. Could you get a similar effect as restrictive deck building when having a feature location themed mode? So the problem with feature locations, in my mind, is that most featured locations have one very specific way to build into them, which is pretty uninteresting and mediocre. So like, yeah, some of them. Hey Jeff, I watched a video about the upcoming cards, and my opinion about October cards has changed. You were right when I said they didn't seem that interesting. Yeah, I like October cards a lot. Agree. You foresee Mobius being Jeff tier in terms of put this in your deck, you'll probably regret it. For a long time, yeah. Maybe forever. I feel like I want to leave myself the flexibility to put Jeff somewhere else. We might want him in the middle. Okay, so they get to make one play. No, it's not a 50-50. I put Jeff here. Arrow goes here. Their one plays copies this for 16. I'm at 13, 16, 19 here. I beat them. And then we win whichever of these two paths Vision isn't in. This arrow is a sure thing. Steel Deity, thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Peter Venkman, PhD. Sacred Timeline was featured, but I swear I got New York 3 to 4 games in a row. Rough. Eliath wins there as well. Eliath, I have to guess where they're playing to, which is not good. Arrow, I don't have to guess. to the quarter of a year, Bit Twiddle. Appreciate that. We might just play this deck a bunch today. I like the cards that this deck plays. It's like reasonably competitive. You want my thoughts on Series 4 and 5 cards? You can always come into my chat and type / tier list to get my thoughts on all of Series 4 and 5 stuff currently. Am I snapping here? I haven't collected yet. I think at Loki this turn, which is maybe scary, but the hand's pretty solid. Does this current deck want Mobius? So the easiest way to figure out if your deck wants Mobius once he releases is ask yourself the question, are you playing a Marvel Snap deck? And if the answer is yes, you probably want Mobius.
Spider-Man here.
I think there's a chance we've been beat by our own cards, chat. Strong possibility. Hopefully the silk goes right. Lit.
Locked in.
16's enough to win center. Or enough to win left, so that way if I Eliath the middle and lose the danger room trigger, I still win. Because if they Chavez here, it's only plus 11, it only takes them to 15. Yeah, they already played Eliath and Silk. I think this wins most of the time. Oh my god. Rip. That's frustrating, because if the center location is literally anything other than danger room, we win the game. Because I wouldn't have to move Jeff here to beat this. I don't know, maybe I'm just not supposed to care about the 25%er. I'm supposed to hedge.
Opponent snapped.
I'm waiting for a specific Goliath variant. Nah, I just don't really like the card, so I don't really plan to put resources into it. I'm hoping that once, wow, we lost 5 cubes retreating. We lost 5 snap points for retreating a 1 cube game. The system is such trash. feels atrocious. Really not a fan of the details on their ranked ladder. Just move Jeff into Doom, right? This is +8, +13 on the right, up to 17 there.
Victory.
Yeah, like, we won 2 cubes off of someone ranked higher than me and only got 7. But we lost 5 for retreating a 1 cuber a second ago. I feel like retreats for 1 should probably not to be that detrimental for cubes. Regardless of what your opponent's rank is, you basically shouldn't ever be punished for retreating for 1, if that makes sense. This might be wrong. That might also just be waving me though, so we'll see. Oh, they burned their Shadow King already. So it's good for us. I just do this. I can just do this.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Their Jeff's kind of a wild card. They could be a Shang-Chi deck as well. It's a game.
Victory.
There's an 8 megabyte patch on Steam that just popped up. Let's take a think about that. See an update yet. Let me relaunch Steam. Oh, it happened 6 hours ago for you. All right, maybe I already had it then. Today is not an OTA day. And OTAs are not patches. Oh, yeah? If it happened a little while ago, I probably grabbed it when I started. Going on, Hushman? Thanks for the 34 months. Stage show. Just make sure you have a sword with your shield as well. Welcome back. Thanks for the 12 months. Steel Deity, thanks for the half a year. Whiskey Jack, thank you for the 10 months. Good morning, good morning. They are glasses specifically designed for headphone users. Now check them out. See urbansamurai.com. They're one of the stream sponsors. It was one of those products I didn't realize that I really wanted until I had it. I could wave and just lock us out of playing cards next turn. It's kind of funny. It guarantees a plus on the Nebula.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
One of these face-down cards could be a, Killmonger's pretty good. They could be a kitty bride.
Spider-Man here.
Ooh, that's actually pretty unfortunate for us, huh? They control where Silk goes. If I do this, actually, let me play for everything. I don't know. Might be a retreat angle. I'm gonna draw Eliath here. And just blue per middle. Definitely a game of Marvel Snap. It's a really unsatisfying end, it is. Yeah. I'm gonna pedal for a little bit because I need to feel something, chat. Not currently feeling anything. let's pedal. I'm dead on the inside, just like their cards are dead on the outside, chat. The other day you had pasta and shares and it was red pepper or something. I actually have a link for you offhand because someone asked for it on the subs Discord server. This is a HelloFresh recipe. This is the red pepper pasta I was talking about the other day. It's delicious. This stream isn't currently sponsored by HelloFresh, but we have been a number of times in the past. For the sake of, you know, transparency and all that. It is a great pasta. It's actually my favorite meal that my wife and I make. I need to play like this. No, I can't collect as me anyways, right? I do this, and then these two move middle, and trigger this a couple of times. Yeah, this is fine. The Strange Academy always moves your cards in order, so if it can only move 2 cards, it'll move these 2 first. Oh, I guess they get to kind of choose where my silk ends up at, though, right? Oh, I guess they also don't know the order I'm playing these in.
Victory.
How spicy is it? I mean, you could control how many, like, red peppers or whatever you put in it. I'll also say that I utilize my American given right to make sure I put more mozzarella on top of that recipe than they call for. Because, chat, you don't maintain the figure that I maintain by not eating copious amounts of cheese. That's just cooking. Red peppers. Yeah, red peppers aren't spicy, but the recipe calls for chili flakes, chat, which are spicy.
It's clobbering time.
Yeah, my poor Nebula, huh? Just can't do nothing to nobody. This feels like Doctor Doom and Ship at Angle, huh? Everything on this board could end up everywhere, so who knows? I think there's a world where this one's a game. Ah, GG opponent. I thought about this too. You know what? I wonder if... No, I had priority there, right? I was thinking maybe I should play Dr. Noob here to try and kick Silk to the left. That just doesn't work out, right? The last opponent's deck is a creative deck. It never fails to shock me the frequency with which people in chat call stock meta decks creative. The previous opponent's deck is literally just the Kitty Shuri deck from last season. You probably don't see a lot of it this current season because it's atrocious into the average wave deck and Galactus decks. But it is very much just a stock meta deck.
Opponent snapped.
I assume you like this version more than the one with Jean Grey. I just don't know that Jean Grey solves any problems that this deck has. Like, this deck has a pretty solid Galactus matchup because of things like Spider-Man and Arrow, even Goliath to a degree, so...
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
We're dead at this point. If I got these in the right order.
Escaped.
I haven't seen any Galactus yet this morning. Maybe Galactus players have moved on. I mean, Galactus was only ever 15% of the metagame, chat. So that means if Galactus is 15% of the metagame, that means 20% of the time you could go 10 games in a row and not play against any Galactus. Math is deep. Yeah, people tend to be pretty medium at comprehending stats like that. It's not intuitive for them.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Spider-Man and it is much more professional than ours. Although I will say, having Angela not in Quantum Tunnel is kind of nice. No OTA today is correct. It's just popular in the high end of it, but I don't think that's true either. It's pretty popular in general. It's just people underestimate how likely or unlikely groupings of things are. Ravona is very bad in this metagame for the same reason Zabu is very bad in this metagame. I do not intend to play any more of her. It's a frustrating and unsatisfying experience. Actual worst possible case scenario here for us. Going on, Death by Chance, thanks to 11 months, welcome back. Appreciate you hanging out, Chuck. Good morning, good morning. You played the version of this deck that runs Jane Foster. There is not a version of this deck that runs Jane Foster. It's not a thing.
Breaking news.
Honestly, this morning's ladder matches have been so casual. And definitely seeing what my average opponent is playing makes me understand why so many of the top players love Loki so much. Because most of our opponents are not playing cards that counter Loki. Our opponents have been playing a lot of really mediocre middling strategies that Loki would just like take out back and shoot. I think the ladder today is more casual because people are swapping to Conquest of our Infinite tickets for next week. No, I think the ladder feels more casual today because of anecdotes and other non-data driven things here. I don't think it really has to do with anything that we would call statistically significant. just gonna do this. Then we have Goliath and Arrow next turn. Rude Surfer gets me here. Anything else we're good to go against? On, bud.
Victory.
I'll play Loki deck for a little while. Anecdotally, our opponents haven't been respecting Loki this morning, so I put him in a trash can. Hey, Fosty, I have a Ravona Verdict here. You could also always come into my chat and type !verdict to get a video link to my take on whatever the latest card release is, assuming it's been out for at least a day or so. So I'm gonna ask, am I waiting for any, am I gonna get any hip variants from the shop? I am not. I think the only variant I am currently waiting on that I don't have is the Peach Momoko She-Hulk. Sounds lovely. Waiting for her. This could be Snowguard Goose Loki. Also just leave Kitty though. That's super rewarding. I think it would be too much for collector's reserves to have a chance of dropping Spotlight Ashes. I think under the current economic model, you can get 85% of new card releases spending only $10 per month. And I think that that is an amount that's already a lot, and I don't expect Second Dinner / Marvel Snap to increase that significantly or meaningfully. Yeah, they're definitely high Evo. The question now is, do I Kitty Loki this turn to like play through a wave? Is probably the correct play. It means I don't get to Collector, but getting down and getting to play some of their cards before they wave me seems appealing. That's a good thought. It could be right just like Collector Goose. So I'm playing my cards out here, assuming they're gonna wave us. This is why we played the Loki in advance when we did.
All systems go.
Is this an easy win? We lose to the Hulk, right? If they keep their Jeff left, right? So I'm only gonna have 14, 19, 21 here. And they're gonna go to 22. They put me back down. This speech, we basically flip a coin against their Jeff, right?
Opponent snapped.
Are they at 22? Their Sunspot's gonna get too bigger from the wave, chat. Cyclops, and Sunspot trigger. Hey, give me. Lost the game of Jeff Chicken, chat. Feels bad, man. Perpetually mute the person that Boomer snapped me into playing a coin flip. Feels bad, man. So, again, we win if our Jeffs end up in the same location. And we lose if they end up at opposite location. So, if I move my Jeff to match, we win. But if I move my Jeff and their Jeff stays here, we lose. So, it's a pure coin flip. And that's honestly part of the power of this deck, right? Like, our opponent had a pure coin flip with their ideal draw and setup. Had their ideal draw and setup, and they were still just a pure coin flip at the end, right? That's true. There's a good chance they just ghosted us out of 8 cubes. The Boomer snap definitely makes ghosting more likely. My headphones connect to my glasses. No, my glasses just sit on the side of my head so they don't get crushed with the headphones. I mean, if I thought that was better Dilski, I would have done it. I'm gonna throw chat back in sub-only mode. Apologies to the people that are being reasonable, but I can feel myself getting annoyed by the chat. And I, just gonna choose to not be annoyed. The choice that's better for my mental. It's a nice draw. No, I just decided to put on my big kid pants sock man and suck it up. I think I'm just doing this and then threatening to rug pull next turn. We can like Hawk plus Loki. And we don't have to rug pull if we don't want to either. There's the flexibility here too.
Squad still a little light.
Victory.
Another elite rating because we can yank the rug. Okay. Deal. Well, maybe we'll just make sub mode the default until the metagame gets better. This current metagame makes it easier for me to get frustrated, which makes it easier for me to overreact to annoying stuff from chat. We'll probably just leave that be the case. It's like Angela into Coulson into Stogard Loki. Doesn't really bother me. Yeah, yep.
Snap.
Maybe a silly question, but does it always play Loki as soon as possible? No, not at all. Depending on the matchup and other cards that you have, dictate when you play Loki. Contrary to what Reddit being a crybaby would have you believe, Loki is not just a you play this card and then you win the game. It actually has a lot of finesse and decision and sequencing choices to it. This style of deck is actually one of my favorite style of Marvel Snap decks to play. Decks that like play multiple cards out in the last few turns. But yeah. LOL, everybody in chat immediately being like, the Marvel Stab subreddit is insufferable all the time. To be fair, I don't think the Marvel Snap subreddit being frequently insufferable is unique to the Marvel Snap subreddit. A lot of lifestyle game subreddits tend to be like that. In my experience, what's what I'm searching for? In my experience, the single-player gaming subreddits tend to not be too terrible. The competitive PvP, especially the lifestyle variation games, tend to not be bad. My anecdotal experience. I think I just want more cards, right? Well, I should have snapped them. And I'd rather Kitty Pryde be in my hand to swap out than play her out. Yeah, can they turn off the Nexus? Turning off the Nexus with the Hawk doesn't change the end of game calculation. I think we're a little short here, right? Short. I guess we're slightly more than one because we were losing the others by more. No cap. The best reason to play Devil Dinosaur is because it's kind of shit in the mirror, so when your opponent draws it, it's a mediocre card. We needed a Snow Guard or an Agent Coulson out of them to win that game. We hit their Loki, but we needed one of these instead of Mirage. We needed one more generator. Yes, new Snow Guard is very good. Agree. A good one to Nick. Yeah, Nexus, second game in a row. Insert is it a future location comments here. I don't know, chat. We hadn't played against any Loki today, and I switched to Loki, and we hit it twice. The matchmaker is as rigged as the Earth is flat. Wake up, sheeple. The truth is out there. Was that Loki variant? That's a Venomized Loki variant. Yeah, our Loki luck's not been great. Our Dino's 13, which puts us to 25. And then our Loki gives us +5, which puts us to 30. That's probably an L, right? Gaining 13, 18. Can you just better? Yeah, it is, but none of it's good enough.
Escape.
Our opponent drawing their one dino the turn after they Loki is a pretty good beat, on top of our Loki being real mediocre. Two Nexus games in a row, 2 Loki mirror matches in a row, 2 their Devil Dinos being slightly better than ours in a row. Your conspiracies are converging. You might be abducted by aliens tonight.
Oh, snap.
I just take a six card hand from them. We do this so that we pass on 5. I guess we might get leeched. Is still a play. Thanks, Ray, for the 160 KDW. I don't know what that is, but it's some kind of currency. If I just play Chavez mid, and then we play our 520 next turn. About 5 USD, thank you. I think I like this. These decks aren't usually Doctor Doom decks, so I don't think I need to play around that. Oh, She-Hulk's technically better. Yeah, that's true. If I soak 2 here, I tie their Doctor Doom, and I would have beaten it if I would have played She-Hulk. Okay. GG! Nice leech. Nice leech. This deck doesn't have a high play rate, but if you ask me for the worst deck people are currently still playing in some quantity, I think it's this one. Especially the plan of leeching people who are potentially taking your Infinite from you is like, I don't know, maybe this deck is fine without leech, but the leech especially is, this is really what we're doing, huh? I think it's probably better without the leech. I don't know, maybe if you play it well, you just, like, don't play leech in the matchups where it's not good. Magic in general is rough to play right now. Yeah, I think you could play a Magic deck if your Magic deck can make the assumption that it's not gonna have a turn 7, but it can make use of the turn 7 if it happens. It's like the TLDR. I think the big problem with Leech in that deck especially is that putting Leech in that deck makes it so you feel obligated to... putting Leech in that deck makes it so you feel obligated to have a turn 7, right? You just skip turn 6. Leech was better in that deck when Leech was ever. Sure, I'd buy that for $1. But we're decidedly not living in that metagame anymore, right? Six on the left, the right is probably not enough. Takes us to 8. Maybe it is with Goose. It might be worth right to play the kitty here, just assuming I can't win here. Storm Cosmo. But is playing a combo deck. It's pretty sick. I could get waived here. Maybe we're not supposed to snap because we could get waived. I get to play the game on the last turn. We could have killed New York. Nah, I think I want to just generate a bunch of cards. Make my things big. Alright, well, we're not getting waived. Step 1. I genuinely can't tell if they're doing this on purpose or not. I have no idea. Oh, they're Agatha. Are they Agatha? Maybe they're Agatha. That would be funny. Okay, if I play under the assumption that they're Agatha, they're filling New York, right?
Victory.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah, they can't be Agatha, right? Because there's 3 cards in their deck? No, we could know deterministically whether or not they're Agatha because of their deck size. Probably gaming while distracted. We drew the extra cards off of what's it called? Alright, Alex, the current metagame's kind of narrow, Alex. To get a good summary, check out my best decks breakdown here. There are not bots post-infinite. It's not a thing.
Opponent snapped.
Snap it back here. We could continue having rancid Loki luck, but like our hand and board are like pretty good here. Our Loki luck was decidedly average here. Was it? Or was it good? Is this good? That seems good. Do I want to play a Quinjet this turn? I don't know that I want to play a Quinjet this turn. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I don't think we have the board space for Quinjet. Fortunately, I think that's probably all she wrote. Maybe Dino's gonna bail us out, chat. We'll see. The trap? Well, my Chavez right is the only card right that beats us there, right? I'm kind of flipping a coin like my Devil Dino versus their Chavez. I don't know. Let's flip 3 cubes. Skill game. I should have hit my hand before we locked in. And we were supposed to leave because we let him ghost us. And play for the rate.
Victory.
Didn't get spookied. Won a coin flip. Solid. Nice. So I get to go Snow Guard, Kitty Barrage. Ooh, actually, would I rather Luke Cage with the sewer system? It's -1 card to Loki, but it's +4 here. Yeah, I think I'm into that. Oh my god, super rewarded. Even better. Jeff Oakland confirmed cheater bot, yeah.
Snap.
We do this, and then we Kitty Loki next turn for 5. Yeah, they're just leaving.
Victory.
It's a meta feeling today, same as yesterday. Just sacred of timelines, chat. Nightcrawler High Evo. It's a combo right there. Your 2-3 lets you play a 3-4. Nailed it. Comments like this frustrate me, and they're tough for me not to get mad at when I read them because they put words in my mouth. So if someone in chat said, it looks to me like all of the highest performing decks right now are playing Goliath. You suggested not using resources on it unless you want to have it. Is it a format staple? Is it just the moment? Has your opinion changed? My exact words in my tier list that you could go watch is that Goliath is currently performing well inside of ramp decks. And the context of the current format is that, yes, all of the good fucking decks are ramp decks. So Goliath is good in most of the good decks. So, like, you said you're not trying to gotcha me, but also you framed your question in a way that implied, it didn't imply, it said I said something I didn't. Or it stripped away context of something that I said.
Escape.
So if you like check out my tier list from this week, I put Goliath in the narrow and powerful category because it's good inside of all of these ramp decks. And we're currently living in a metagame where all of the good decks, basically other than Loki, are like turn 5 wave decks. And Goliath is good in turn 5 wave decks and decks looking to accelerate. So no, what I said is actually, I'll be the first to admit when I change my opinion on something. I change my opinion when presented with new information all the time, but that is quite literally just like it's playing out exactly like I said. Yeah, and the big thing about these wave decks is the turn 5 wave metagame is cannibalistic. It's a metagame where the best thing you can do against a turn 5 wave is play your own turn 5 wave. As like the TLDR. Yeah, I'm gonna snap Forge. We'll go Collector into Angela, Quinjet into Loki. And just like for future reference, like you could ask my opinion on Alioth with like out adding the prefix or whatever, asking did your opinion change? You could just ask me to repeat myself and say, Jeff, what's your current opinion on Alioth? I would give you exactly what I'd said previously, which is it does this. Ooh, Multiple Man's actually kind of scary for my Loki deck, because it implies they could be a, Okay, Iron Fist is less scary. The Multiple Man means they could have been a Phoenix Force deck, which is tough for us. Phoenix Force could be a little spooky. Ooh, that's a, wait, I don't actually want a Loki here though, right? Because Loki will give me this until after the fact. Yeah. I agree. Loki is not good into Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force decks are just unfortunately kind of mid into... the Phoenix Force decks are unfortunately kind of mid into, what's it called? The wave decks. I could also Vulture into Ghost Spider into Strange, pull the Vulture back to the left again. Oh yeah, I could do this here to trigger her, yeah. No, but that makes the collector bigger, so that doesn't work then. So I need these to be the same size when I Doctor Strange. I don't know that I'm gonna have room to loot Cage. I need Collector not to grow before I Doctor Strange. Why not Cloak instead of Doctor Strange? Cloak is symmetrical, and I don't want them to have, I don't want them to have the option to move things, if I can avoid it. Are they Heimdelling? I mean, we don't know if they're Heimdelling. They're leaving, sure.
Victory.
I don't wanna play out the New York situation. I think we're at best a coin flip here, depending on what their hand looks like. Because of both the Cloak and the Heimdall. Lee? I just want to get Aunt May's out of the way here. Just know where that's going. Colossus says he ain't going nowhere. He's staying here and he'll like his bonus. Yes. Like Spectrum pile of cards. Curious as to why we're grinding ladder and not conquest, because I find ladder significantly more fun than conquest. The only reason I played conquest in previous seasons was because there were lots of bots on the ladder, and that is no longer the case. Which is nice. I enjoy not playing against bots. This might be a turn 6 Loki for stats angle. We'll see what we draw next turn. So your tweet about Cyberpunk, you've avoided spoilers of the game till now. Yeah, I don't know anything about it other than it exists. All right, with the Snow Guard draw, we'll take some randoms here, huh? The opponent is also a wave deck. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Mother of God. Mother of God. All right, yep. We take those. Anything you could do, I could do better. I could do anything better than you. Do. I just can't imagine, like, I just can't fathom putting Rogue inside of your ongoing deck in this metagame. Like, that seems like we're asking, whoa. Some real random client lag here. Animations are not happy. That was weird. I didn't drop any frames on OBS, so it's just some type of weird snap lag. Yeah, Rogue gets us the casserole there. XC Wine with the 70-month resubscription. Thank you for the almost 6 years. Welcome back. That's weird. If it lags again, I'll restart for good measure, but I assume that was some kind of fluke with, like, armor plus Professor X plus other animations. Oh, yeah, okay. Weird. Am I dropping frames? No, I'm not. Snap is just, like, actually dying. Weird. Yeah, it's 100% just the game footage.
Wind aid my hand.
Snap.
Hi, Vark. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Oh, I'm gonna lose priority here, aren't I? Shoot. That's awkward. Probably dead here. We're definitely leaving if they step back. Quantum Realm, Swap, Snow Garden, Coulson. I have Luke Cage. Home Snap, you're drunk. So their Apocalypse is only 2 points mid. Meaning this wins the game? Yeah, every time? Every time. Luke Cage is a really good Marvel Snap card, chat. You should play more of him. Like, I think he's excellent in this deck, and he's excellent in the high Evo, but just in general, there's so many niche situations where he's excellent. So many locations like Necrosha and Quantum Realm and others where he's just so good. All right, let's restart the client here real quick to see if we can fix the chug-in. Is everybody for hanging out today? Is anybody new in chat? Welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on twitch.tv. You'll find me here typically Monday through Friday during the week for about 9 a.m. Central until about 2 or 3 p.m. Central in the afternoon. Marvel Snap is the primary game that I stream. I've been a mainstay here on the Twitch platform for a long time, streaming for almost a decade. Been a partnered channel for 8 years. I've been doing it full-time as a job for the last 6. Before Marvel Snap was here last fall, I played a lot of Magic the Gathering, some Runeterra, some Mythgard, some other random miscellaneous turn-based and strategy games in there over the years. And now we're here playing this one all the time. I think you would be surprised how many new people sub-only chat chases away. To give you an interesting statistic that I think a lot of people are unaware of. Yesterday's stream. Well, let's use a non-sub-only chat stream. Friday's stream, we had 10,252 unique viewers. There were only 922 unique chatters. And based on someone that's looked at a lot of Twitch stats over the years, that ratio of right around or sub 10% of people chatting is very accurate. Most people watching Twitch aren't engaging in chat. Let's go, lurkers. What's going on, Biggs? Good morning. If you're looking for their excellent Snap Creator chat, I like to call them out when they do poke their heads up. I feel the lurking other Snap Creators though. I usually don't chat when I'm watching other Twitch streams. Biggs is an excellent follow. Streams in the late afternoons and early evenings a lot of the time. What's going on, Maury? Thank you for the 40 months. Welcome back. Can Collector win Kiln for us is a real question. Maybe. I also have the option to get in there on turn 6 if I want. Let's see. With the Loki draw, do I need to open up the left? I think the answer is no. I think I'm also supposed to play middle because they could be waving me. You need to play every game like you could be getting waved with this deck in this metagame. Mojo on Mojo World! Savor the flavor, champ. Savor the flavor. Godly JP, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. Have you enjoyed messing with Ravona as a deck builder? I think she's a really neat card that unfortunately is just really bad for all of the same reasons that, what's his name is bad? Zabu is bad right now. Which is a little sedge. What if I do this? If they onslaught middle, they go to 4 here, and then this kicks over to 9, so we're still good. Maybe I switch these so I'm a little bigger in the middle. In a meta where you're getting waved, why not just frequently turn your kitty into an extra card with Loki? Because you don't always get waved. I think not only does Loki make Ravona awkward, but a lot of Ravona's upside is she lets you mask where you're playing your cards out till turn 6 by having extra energy as like a pseudo Sarah, so you also eat it from the wave side as well. So just like both of the top meta things are bad for her, like they're bad for Zabu. The waves catch you, and then the Lokis grab your deck and kind of just do it better. I know it sounds weird to say at the surface level, but there's a very real chance Ravona gets better post Mobius. Just because of the way the metagame is likely to shift. Because the Ravona and the Zabu decks can play what's it called interaction better than they can play. They can play Mobius interaction better than they can play wave interaction. Hey, old man, thank you for the sub gifts. That's very generous of you, appreciate it. Would you rather have old wave to have She-Hulk death style to her current iteration? I don't feel strongly that they should do this because it's kind of confusing, but I think there's a wave design where she doesn't combo with Death and She-Hulk and like High Evo Abomination, but she also doesn't beat Miles in stature. I wish there was a class of cost reduction that beat wave. And I don't know, it's probably good for the game that doesn't exist from a consistency perspective, but from a strength of the card and offering counterplay, I wish the cards that set their power to specific costs overrode her. It would be more confusing to new players, I think, but from a quality of gameplay perspective, I think it would be better. Yeah, it would be basically introducing like weird Magic the Gathering layers type crap. We didn't get their what's it called, which is unfortunate, their Dr. Doom. Okay, so it's very important that we Cosmo middle so we don't get Galactus there, huh? Because their Jeff can move. Maybe I should stab them. mean, programmatically, Kraken, they could definitely do what I just suggested. It's more a matter of would it be good or beneficial for the game if that was a distinction. Yeah, it would. I think it's probably good that they didn't do that from a player accessibility standpoint, but from a strategy standpoint, I would have preferred that distinction, I think. If that distinction makes sense.
Victory.
Ah, yes, the old 2200 Angela boosters. I almost want to spend 5k collector's tokens on the Angela variant, so that way I could justify spending some of her boosters again. You play Jeff directly to Luke's bar, does it bounce back? It does, yeah. That's the fantasy Angela? Come on now, chat. Isn't every Angela your fantasy? Dami Mommy's got just what you need. Dodge that Isle of Silence like a professional. Our hand's pretty good. Is it snap into their two best one drops? Because this is their best opener too. I don't know the matchup tables enough to know if I should snap here or not.
Wind, aid my hand.
That makes things legitimately more challenging for us. Goose is just an extra Galactus hedge, because I hate that deck. I think Goose is also just a pretty generically good card when your deck's all cheap stuff. I think the bar for including Goose is pretty low, when my deck is. All cards that duck its restriction. It's also good into Eliath, yeah. So you can know Eliath isn't gonna shit-can your path. Between Goose and Cosmo, you can mitigate a lot of Eliaths. I think it's just this, so that we finish on Chavez right next turn, right?
Oh, snap.
Yeah. The snap's, like, arguably a little late, but this is our last chance to get an extra cube out of them, I think. Oh, that's a good shout. Maybe I'm supposed to wave myself to lock them into only a single play. I don't know, the wave makes their Sunspot and Misty a bit better. Yeah, they're just doing it for us. Are we gonna play flip the coin with Misty Knight here? $60% to beat the Misty Knight, chat? How big's their Hulk? The Hulk's always big enough, chat. Your opponents always have their Hulk in their opener. Hulk is a 22 minimum, yep. Your opponent's Hulk has never been smaller than an Infinite in their life. Alberto, thank you for the half a year, by the way. Appreciate that. Waiting for Mobius to stop the wave. Me too, I'm hoping. Copium. By the way, because I think it's worth pointing out, because usually I don't have strong opinions on meta decks. These 12 Loki cards are my favorite 12 Loki cards. I have played an okay amount of this archetype that I like these cards. Luke Cage, Cosmo, Goose are my preferred 3 tech cards, and Mirage is my additional 2 energy card. Are the ones I really like. Snap on that one, I think. Does Mirage have a replacement? Yeah, if you're missing Mirage, you just replace her with any other 2 energy card that generates a card. Cable, Sentinel, lots of things like that. And this is the catch-22, right? Like, Loki Kitty is so good into Galactus, but it's shit into everything else. I could also just do this and hedge. It's always Galactus is probably true. One Alliance, please. About to lose the game of Marvel Snap to the one Galactus player still playing Death. Like to pour one out for my kitty, chat. What a pretty kitty they are. Big ups to the goose. Big ups to the goose. Goose. The goose variant of the upcoming bundle is disturbing. It is a little on the disturbing side. The worst part about Goose screwing you up, Binks, is that it screams at you with tentacles when you're about to mess up with it. It's not just like, oh crap, I can't play here. It's like, you can't play here. What an atrocious opening of cards locations. Actually, just the Stone Cold Bratwurst. Okay, I mean, this is technically fine. You think I'm supposed to Loki? No, I think I want Loki in my deck to redraw, chat. I think I just want my average deck quality to be higher than theirs. Wow! Brutal. Savage. Wrecked. The biggest of oofs out.
Escaped.
Lokiing the rocks hedges them doing this, so maybe that's the case. We didn't know anything about their deck. Yeah. That's a good take. Loki hedging them getting rid of the location is definitely something that happens. Do this, and then next turn we go Kitty Loki. I wonder if I have space for the Mirage on the board, though. A little crowded. Two. No, they're the Patriot deck. Him here, actually. Test this a little bit easier, I think, without the Stogar in the path. Okay. That's the downside to trying to contest here, I suppose. What do I think of this? I like it. I think I like it.
Victory.
Thanks for the third of a year, Billy Boone. Appreciate it. Gosh, Mr. Cage's lovely chat. Such a fantastic gentleman. This location is hostile as well. We might have a little bit of trouble here. Our deck is not good into Warrior Falls, obviously. Solid for us. I need to cage before I Loki, I think. At this point, I'm going to snap them, because I do have cage into Necrotia and Loki with my collector. For a true professional, we'll draw Snow Guard next turn. Yeah, on the wall. Who's the Lokiest of them all? I think I would rather have a random than a Kitty Pride starting on turn 4. Not a particularly powerful Loki, only 3 cards. It was a snap before Loki. If our Loki was better, we would snap before Loki, but our Loki was not particularly good, so I think it's just a chill moment. I'm supposed to snap after I pull the Agent Coulson. Is there a patch next week? No, next patch is on October 5th. There will be an OTA update next week, though. They Loki'd for 6 there. I think we're dead.
Escaped.
Alright, hey, it's time to change decks. I'm bored with this one. What do I want to do? You tried the Ravona Hawk deck. The Ravona decks are bad against Loki, and they're bad against Wave. They're just bad in general. And bad for a lot of... For people suggesting I play bad decks, no. A good way to end the stream early is playing underpowered decks into this overpowered metagame. I know it's not nearly as exciting, but I'm really not going to be doing any brewing until Mobius releases. We're just gonna play decks that I like playing, that are somewhat reasonable. Like this clutter control deck, or maybe bounce is the furthest we're gonna color outside of the lines. Like, we'll play some bounce today at some point. I can't post YouTube videos with that deck because the YouTube audience is too, let's say unintelligent to be able to comprehend that deck, so they don't watch any videos with it, but we can play it here on the Twitch side. This deck is much worse without Ghost Spider. Yeah, Ghost Spider gives you really good utility with Dr. Octopus. Standard Lockjaw decks seem to perform okay. I'd buy that for $1. I'm gonna give my 1 cube back and go play the bounce deck now, since we queued up with the clutter deck and immediately queued into Killmonger. Actual 0%. This deck has very polarized matchups, you just never beat a destroy deck. Trying to be gentle lands on unintelligent. Listen, unintelligent is super PG and kind compared to what my default was to call people. Yeah, so Thanos decks and bounce decks are consistently the two archetypes that always perform like shit on the YouTube side in terms of metrics.
Opponent snapped.
Tends to be alright for us. I'm gonna stay. Okay. It's certainly a thing that could happen. My worst fear is that with the release of Mobius, the metagame will devolve into who's the better Mobius wave deck. That's true. That would be pretty awful, but at least it would be very different than the every good deck's a wave deck like we're currently playing. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I don't know. If everybody has Mobius, wave in general becomes less appealing. If Mobius doesn't successfully push wave out of the metagame, the card probably needs a redesign. We'll see though, I suppose. I ain't never been shagged sheet in my life, chat, and I ain't about to start now. This Dr. Octopus wins the game every time. Press the snap button because we believe in him. Eliath? Never heard of him. Sounds like a purple fart. Of course, Mobius beats Wave, he's got a jet ski. That's just good flavor right there. No cap, is it actually playing HUD? No way, right? Never? And Spider-Woman, draw. Draw Shang-Chi. There's my lad. There's my lad. This is fantastic for us, says local man about to be Eliath. And Baku mid to beat Cyclops. I have Mojo triggering in the mid, chat. I appreciate Mojo being a character in the Marvel universe because it makes me feel seen from a physique perspective. Need representation. Like, what the fuck is going through your brain that you run the rope down the entire way before playing that fucking card? Like, I get it. It's a metagame staple and, like, you have it. But, like, what the fuck is going on that they're waiting that long to do it? I need to pedal for a minute, because otherwise I'm gonna turn the stream off. I don't want to turn the stream off yet. So I need a minute. Goosefraba. Goosefraba. We got 7 Spider-Woman boosters at least. I need Spider-Woman boosters. That's a win. It's the little things, chat. It's the little things. Yeah, we're a very reasonable Sinister London deck, for sure. Hoblet exchange program, yeah, basically. Stop being children in my chat! I turned on sub-only mode so we could not have people be children. Be better, thank you. was left to put double mojo there. Yeah, maybe. Respect. I think that gets us, huh? Our deck, so the Hazmat Clutter deck is shit. It's bigger shit than our deck is shit, but it has a good matchup into us. Which is another reminder why you shouldn't play B-tier bad decks like this. You should just play the good decks. Because your B-tier bad deck is going to have a worse matchup into other B-tier bad decks, even if it's a good metagame choice. You're always just better off playing the good decks. Get the little extra BM at the end there, too. Bugger off, cunt. That's the extra exhausting part about there being, like, tier 0 decks in this format, is the tier 0 decks aren't popular enough that you can actually metagame against them. Because there's still so many people playing other random bullshit that, like, if you want to have any respectable climb at all, you have to just play the tier 0 decks. Optimal theory is basically always just play the good decks. If you're not familiar with which decks I'm talking about when I talk about the best decks, you can always come into my chat and type !best to get a best decks video. Sure. I think I'm playing Bishop to the left next turn. His locations also suck for us though, so maybe not. I'm just supposed to wait and play these post Bishop. I guess I can Hawk and open up the Space Throne. And the Space Throne's gonna move. Gross. Nah, we'll just Hawk next turn, right? And it'll be fine. Bouncing Zergard actually isn't that good. Would I rather bounce Kitty or Hawkeye? I think I'd rather bounce Hawkeye actually, right? And remember, their Jeff can move into here. So I want to do this. So I need to play at least something into the Citadel. I'm at a virtual 20 on the left. I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards out, so I'm at 25 here. I'm at 25 plus whatever other cards I play. So this puts me to, this would put me to 31 here. I think that's probably enough. I guess I probably want to beat them playing a 0 here, huh? Did we really just stay, assuming I couldn't beat your Taskmaster? That's not a strategy. Can bear move Onslaught Citadel? No, the bear cannot re-trigger locations that have an after-turn clause. The bounce deck is fine, chat. I had the bounce deck as one of my pocket picks in my best deck video for a reason. I think if you could just be conscious of which decks are likely to be waving you and play your hand out on turn 5 into the wave decks, this deck is generically reasonable into the rest of the metagame. It's got a very solid Loki matchup. What about Sakar? Anything with a timing restriction, the bear does not work on. So anything that says after the turn or after a certain turn, the bear does not trigger any of those. Does you have the location glow if the bear is going to work? I think that's a great suggestion. I like that call on a lot. It's just this. Might get a rock here, but I think I want bishop in the center regardless. And then like, next turn it's like 1 drop plus beast on the left. Alright, tying eternity range was probably the best outcome we could have hoped for there. They're the Spectrum Thanos deck, which notably, this usually isn't a wave deck, but anything could also be a wave deck. I'm probably going to play like they're not a wave deck. I also think we're in a very good position here, so I'm going to snap them. A Professor X could get us somewhere. Yeah, that's true. They could be Professor Xing the left, in fact, right? Oh, well, I guess we're dead. I'll snap us back and we'll leave. Shame our hand was so good. Lost that first location coin flip, basically. The Hawk does not turn off onslaughts at the end of the game when the score is calculated, is the thing a lot of people mess up about it. It's 9-12 here. 19. So this is 6-10 here. 17 is 17 enough? What happens if they blue Marvel plus a stone? Blue Marvel would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14. Do I beat Blue Marble plus a stone here? I think I beat Blue Marble plus a stone. My quick maths there were correct or not. I'm off. Then develop no matter what we did. Normally you beat stuff like this by being able to play to every path, but unfortunately we got locked out by a Professor X. You know, I'm just not feeling it, and the viewer count's on the low side today, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it after 3 hours here. I hope people out there are having more fun with this game than I am. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and try again for at least a few hours, but we'll be back with nice, regular, full-day streams next week. This metagame's just, it sucks shit, chat. I just don't. If you want some fun Marvel Snap content, I have a review of the upcoming season pass cards and data mined cards that are the weekly releases over on the YouTube side. The editor knocked it out of the park. They did an excellent job, so check that out if you haven't already. And we'll try again tomorrow, but we'll see. No OTA today. The format will be better when Mobius comes next week. I'm gonna go eat some lunch and then play some fun games off stream. Peace.